The flat upstairs. The slid into me was smooth. No corners. Amira wasn't looking for anything or anyone when she moved into the old townhouse on a rainy East London street. The breakup had left her raw, and this place, with its peeling brick and creaky charm, her upstairs neighbor, Jay, was the kind of man you noticed even when he tried to disappear. Tall, quiet, always in dark clothes and carrying the scent of cigarettes and ink, he barely said more than, "All right," in the hall. But she noticed the way his eyes lingered when they passed each other, the slight lift in his lip when she caught him watching her. One night, a storm took the power out. The whole street went black, and Amira, restless and wrapped in an old sweater, climbed the stairs with a candle and a bottle of red. She knocked. When Jay opened the door, shirtless, the candlelight carved shadows across the tattoos running down his chest. He didn't ask why she was there. He just stepped aside and let her in. They sat close in his living room, the only light flickering between them. At first, they talked about the usual things: music, the building, the kind of jobs people don't brag about. But somewhere between the second glass of wine and the thunder cracking outside, the air changed. His fingers brushed hers, slow and deliberate. Her breath hitched. She looked at him, really looked, and saw that hunger mirrored in his eyes. When he leaned in, she didn't pull away. His kiss was soft at first, then deep, like he'd been holding back since the day she moved in. Clothes came off in pieces, like confessions. The cold room burned around them. It wasn't just lust, it was something heavier, hotter. A silent agreement passed between their bodies, every movement saying, "I see you, I want you." She forgot the storm, the heartbreak, even her own name for a while. In the early morning light, Amira woke tangled in sheets that smelled like him. Jay sat at the window, sketching lazily in a notebook, half-dressed and smirking like he already knew she'd be back. He didn't say a word. He didn't need to. She wasn't sure if this was the beginning of something dangerous or something real, but either way, she wanted more. Amira started sleeping at Jay's more than her own. They never talked about it. She'd just show up after work, drop her keys on his counter, and melt into him like it was the most natural thing in the world. Their bodies had learned each other fast, how she liked to be touched, how he liked to take control, how they both liked to pretend nothing outside his flat existed. But reality has a way of creeping in. One morning, she woke alone. The sketch pad was on the floor next to the bed, pages open portraits of her, soft and vulnerable. But one drawing stopped her cold. It wasn't her. It was another woman. Curly hair, sharp jaw, eyes too intense to forget. The way he'd drawn her, it was intimate. Like he'd loved her, maybe still did. Jay walked in carrying coffee, froze when he saw what she was holding. "You didn't tell me there was someone else," she said quietly, not looking at him. "There isn't," he said too fast, then added, "Not anymore." The silence between them went from warm to sharp. "She died?" Amira asked. He shook his head. "No, she left." The words hit harder than she'd expected. Not because he had a past she did too, but because for the first time, Jay felt further away. Like maybe he wasn't hers to have. Like maybe he never was. That night, their sex was different. Still intense, still consuming, but there was a crack in it now. A tenderness that felt like an apology. He kissed her like he was trying to forget someone else. She let him, even though it made something ache deep inside her. And when she left in the morning, she didn't take her keys. Amira started sleeping at Jay's more than her own. They never talked about it. She'd just show up after work, drop her keys on his counter, and melt into him like it was the most natural thing in the world. Their bodies had learned each other fast, how she liked to be touched, how he liked to take control, how they both liked to pretend nothing outside his flat existed. But reality has a way of creeping in. One morning, she woke alone. The sketch pad was on the floor next to the bed, pages open portraits of her, soft and vulnerable. But one drawing stopped her cold. It wasn't her. It was another woman. Curly hair, sharp jaw, eyes too intense to forget. The way he'd drawn her, it was intimate. Like he'd loved her. Maybe still did. Jay walked in carrying coffee, froze when he saw what she was holding. "You didn't tell me there was someone else," she said quietly, not looking at him. "There isn't," he said too fast, then added, "Not anymore." The silence between them went from warm to sharp. "She died?" Amira asked. He shook his head. "No, she left." The words hit harder than she'd expected. Not because he had a past she did too, but because for the first time, Jay felt further away. Like maybe he wasn't hers to have. Like maybe he never was. That night, their sex was different. Still intense, still consuming, but there was a crack in it now. A tenderness that felt like an apology. He kissed her like he was trying to forget someone else. She let him, even though it made something ache deep inside her. And when she left in the morning, she didn't take her keys. 3 days passed. No texts, no midnight knocks, no footsteps above her flat. Amira told herself it was fine, that she needed the space, that whatever was happening between her and Jay wasn't real enough to miss. But every time her phone lit up, she hoped it was him. And every night, when she heard nothing but silence, she hated how much it hurt. On the 4th night, there was a knock, but it wasn't Jay. Amira opened the door and blinked. A woman stood there wet from the rain, dark curls stuck to her face, eyes sharp and too familiar. "I'm looking for Jay," the woman said, her voice low. "He's not answering, and he's not at the studio." Amira's heart dropped. "Who are you?" The woman tilted her head, sizing her up. "I'm his sister." A pause. Then, ex-sister, technically. Amira stepped aside, letting her in before she knew why. The woman walked like she owned the space, glancing at the sketch taped to Amira's fridge, Jay's drawing. Her mouth twitched. "He's been doing that since he was a kid," she muttered, "drawing people he can't say the truth to." Amira crossed her arms. "What truth?" The woman turned, deadpan. "Did he tell you about Sasha?" The name hit like ice down her spine. "No," Amira said. "But I saw her face in his notebook." The woman scoffed. "Of course you did. He draws her more now than when she was alive." Amira's stomach twisted. "Alive?" "Yeah," the woman said flatly. "She's dead. Overdose. 2 years ago. Jay found her." The room went quiet. Too quiet. "He's been chasing ghosts ever since," she said, including his own. Before Amira could speak, her phone buzzed. A message from Jay. "Don't let her talk to you." Too late. Amira didn't reply to Jay's message. She just stared at it. "Don't let her talk to you." Too late. Too vague. Too controlling. Jay's not the only one with ghosts. By the time he knocked on her door, she was ready. Not angry, just done being confused. He looked wrecked. Hoodie up. Eyes bloodshot. That scent of ink and skin that used to pull her in now made her stiffen. "You talked to her," he said. "Yeah," Amira replied. "And you lied to me." Jay ran a hand through his hair, pacing. "It wasn't lying. It was just not time." "Time for what?" Her voice cracked. "To find out I'm sleeping next to a man who's still in love with a ghost?" He looked at her then, really looked, and something in him collapsed. Sasha was the last person I ever let get close. She loved me when I didn't love myself, and I failed her. I left the night she overdosed. Amira felt the weight of it hit her chest. "So, I'm what? Your second chance?" "No," he said, stepping closer. "You're the first person who's ever made me feel like I wanted to try again." His voice was low, trembling. "You weren't supposed to matter, but then you did." She swallowed hard, throat burning. "I don't want to be your recovery project, Jay." "You're not." He touched her cheek, slow, tender. "You're the reason I stopped numbing myself." His lips hovered near hers. "If you want to walk away, I won't stop you. But if you stay," his breath was warm against her mouth, "I'll give you everything I've got left." For 1 second, her body screamed kiss him. Her heart said, "Don't you dare." But her mouth whispered, "Then show me." And he did. He kissed her like he was begging for forgiveness, with his hands, his mouth, his whole body. He pulled her into him like she was the only thing tethering him to this world. The love wasn't clean or gentle. It was raw, desperate, real. And when they collapsed together in bed, tangled in each other, neither of them knew what came next. But for the first time, they both wanted to find out. The morning after was quieter than either of them expected. Amira woke first, her body still humming with the heat of the night before. The light creeping through the window felt different now, softer, like the air was holding its breath. Jay was still asleep, his chest rising and falling in a steady rhythm, his arm draped protectively over her waist. For a second, everything felt perfect, like maybe this thing between them could work. But then her phone buzzed. It was a message from her best friend, Chloe. "Amira, I need to tell you something. I saw Jay last night. He wasn't with you." Her heart dropped. Jay stirred beside her, groaning softly as he shifted. Amira turned the phone screen face down. She couldn't handle the truth right now, not while he was still here, still warm beside her. But the doubt settled into her chest, cold and unwelcome. She took a breath and slid out of bed as quietly as she could, careful not to wake him. She needed space. She needed answers. She needed to know what kind of man she was lying next to. Half an hour later, Amira found herself at the coffee shop around the corner, Chloe sitting across from her, eyes wide. "Amira, I don't want to hurt you, but I saw Jay with another woman last night. I swear to God, they were together." The words hit her like a slap. "Who?" Amira barely managed to ask. She felt numb. "I don't know. She had long blonde hair. I'm sorry, Amira, but I couldn't ignore it." Amira's stomach twisted, her hands trembling around her cup. She knew she needed to confront him, but how? She didn't want to believe it. Didn't want to face the fact that Jay had lied to her again. That whatever they had, whatever they shared, might just be a story he was telling himself too. She didn't go back to his flat right away. Instead, she spent the day walking, trying to clear her mind. Every corner of the city seemed to remind her of him, the coffee shop they'd walked into together, the park bench they'd sat on the first time they kissed. But with each passing minute, the doubt gnawed at her more. By the time she reached his flat again, night had fallen. She knocked once, then twice. No answer. The silence stretched. She tried the handle. It opened. Jay was sitting on the couch, the same sketch pad in his lap. But this time, his expression was different. Dark. Haunted. He looked up, eyes filled with regret, but his lips didn't move. Amira stepped inside, her heart pounding. She didn't know what to say. She didn't know if she was ready for this confrontation. "Amira, you don't have to be here," he said quietly. "You can leave. I won't stop you." "No." Her voice cracked. "I need to know what's going on. What you're going on." Jay's face shifted regret, guilt, something deeper. He put the sketch pad aside and stood up slowly. "I thought I could keep it all together," he started. "But I was lying to myself too. I never stopped loving her. I